Speedway Sedans Live, proudly produced by Ash Media Speedway Footage. Brought to you by Speedway Sedans Australia, Adam Holt Industries, Campton Graphics and Signage, Cool Drive Distribution, Jules Furniture and Removalists, EB Graphics, Highline Racewear and Team Apparel, Mantle Racewear, Pro One Race Parts, Speedway Sedans Queensland and Speedway Sedans Western Australia. All about set to go, they're underway with heat number 21. We're into the third round of action and going clockwise yet again. Robbie Foe charges up on the outside, but the stewards not happy. We'll do it again without having to stream it themselves as the green lights come on. Matthew Glapp is the leader. Well, he was. Sneaking up on the inside is the 76 car of Hayden Norman from Western Australia, and coming around the outside is that little blue jigger. Car number 115 of Robbie Foe goes into second place. Matthew Glapp back to third as they come out to 3 and 4 in heat 21. Yellow lights come on. Corey Knox in car number 67, the pole car. On his outside is Dylan Campton. Immediately a row of three as the greens come on, and the status quo from the first attempt with Hayden Norman taking the inside run, but this time it's the 115 who sneaks right round the outside, Robbie Foe, and takes the lead. Hayden Norman sticking right with him. They're 3 and 4 wide behind them though. Dean Jenkins is there. Stephen Watts is in that group as they head out of turn number 2. It's a traffic jam further back, and Dylan Campton's car is about to fall apart by the looks of it, and he's taken the car to the infield. It's Robbie Foe right up near the concrete wall, has Hayden Norman for company as they move down the main straight. Jenkins, Watts, Prideaux, Evan Wakefield back in 6th. 7th place Jason Foe, then Matthew Glapp is next, but they're all fighting for 3rd through about 9th place at the moment. Robbie Foe right out near the concrete leads this one through. Hayden Norman trying to level up as they move into the main straight. Another lap down on the time clock, 9 to go. Race 22. Heat 21 of the national title is a race into. Almost 4 wide for 3rd place as they head down the back straight. Watts, Jenkins, Prideaux in that group. On the outside, Evan Wakefield. Right there also Jason Foe. Robbie Foe though is your leader. 2nd place is the 6th car of Hayden Norman. The battle for 4th intensifies. 3rd place is Stephen Watts. Then there's Jenkins, Wakefield, Prideaux and Jason Foe. Into the main straight they come. Trouble for Evan Wakefield here in the front straight. He's not going to move, and the yellow lights will have to come on, and we've got ourselves a stoppage. Back underway. Hayden Norman right behind him as they head up into the top turn. Hayden Norman immediately looks to come underneath the Robbie Foe as they head down the back straight. Oh, 3 wide further back, and the 3rd place car of Stephen Watts hit the fence. He comes back to the main body of the field. Hayden Norman right up behind Robbie Foe. There's a car length in it. Watts, Jenkins, Prideaux, Jason Foe, and coming up on the outside is Corey Knox in the 67. They're all very closely bunched up together, and back then to Evan Wakefield as they move out of 3 and 4. 5 laps to go in heat number 21 of the national title, and Robbie Foe is in front. Back to Hayden Norman in 2nd place. Stephen Watts, then Dean Jenkins. Corey Knox up to 5th, then Tony Prideaux, Jason Foe. And on the outside of that group is Evan Wakefield. But it's a race in 2. Out in front, it's Robbie Foe from Hayden Norman. Watts, Jenkins, Knox, Prideaux, Wakefield and Jason Foe. Great battle for the minor end of the prize here in heat number 21 of the national title. Out of 4 they come though. Robbie Foe out in front. The 76 of Hayden Norman in 2nd place. Then there's freight trainer cars for the minor placings. Watts, Jenkins, Knox, Prideaux, Jason Foe, and Evan Wakefield having some troubles further back. Robbie Foe running on rails with 2 laps to go. Leads by 0.9 of a second. 19.281 last time around for Robbie Foe. Oh, Evan Wakefield's car's starting to smoke dramatically. Meanwhile, Robbie Foe will come up and get the white flag. 1 lap to go. Second place, the 76 car of Hayden Norman. As they come up to lap traffic, Watts, then Jenkins. Foe moves to the outside. They're 3 wide, with Robbie Foe going the widest of all. Put your hands together for him. 2-time national champion Robbie Foe, a heat race winner here tonight. Foe first, Hayden Norman second. Third place is going to go the way of Watts, from Jenkins, from Knox, and Jason Foe. The next one through will be the 22 of Prideaux. Evan Wakefield is going to crawl home after that. 2 minutes 18.20 for the last 7 laps. Put your hands together for Robbie Foe here in the main straight, the winner of heat number 21. Hayden Norman and Stephen Watts filled the minor placings. The margin was
28 of Mark Gardner, the V122 of Corey Sandow, and Bailey Heinrich in the S86 rounding out the field for this one.
Trouble there at the start. There's going to be heavy contact. The yellow lights have come on. They've all driven away, but there's going to be some damage to a couple of cars here. And one of them is the 44 of John Riley.
All going the traditional way this time. Green lights are activated, they're away. And Luke Williams leads them down the main straight. Mick Clark on the outside, and watch for the blue car 21 in third place. To also start making some moves, that's Mark Jennings. And Corey Sandow got a ripper run too, as they're 3 wide for the lead here as they come underneath the time clock. And there's no holes barred here, I can tell you, as Luke Williams has been shunted out of the way and has gone back to 4th place as Sandow comes underneath. And Mark Jennings, the 1995 champion, is at the front. Mick Clark in second, Sandow third. 4th place is the 71 of Luke Williams. Heinrich is in that group as well. That's Cody Heinrich, and Ricky Throckmorton is in 6th place as they move down past us. Back in 7th place is John Riley as they move out of turn number 2 and down the back straight. Our race leader is car number 21, Mark Jennings. 2nd place is the 48 of Mick Clark. 3rd place, Corey Sandow, then Luke Williams. Right there with Luke Williams is Cody Heinrich, Ricky Throckmorton. Then back to John Riley. Then Bailey Heinrich, Mark Gardner and Paul Hayes, and Scott Purdy at the tail of the field. They move out of Pitts Bend and into the main straight. Our race leader is Mark Jennings. Clark back in 3rd place, it's Corey Sandow. Luke Williams in 4th place. More trouble with 2nd and 3rd. Sandow and Clark are hooked up. 4th place got sideways as well. That was Williams. Around the outside goes Heinrich as Sandow rounds up the 48 car momentarily. Sandow has got a handful of steering wheel at the moment, trying to get it into a straight line. But all's well that ends well. Clark in 2nd, Sandow. 4th place now, Cody Heinrich, then Ricky Throckmorton. Back in 6th place, Tasmania 71, Luke Williams. Mark Gardner's in that group along with John Riley, Paul Hayes, and Scott Purdy rounds out the field. Out of turn number 2 and down the back straight, he's opened up a big lead now. It's 3.2 seconds. Mark Jennings is your race leader. Then the entire field follows him after that. 2nd place is Clark, then Sandow. 4th place is Heinrich, Throckmorton, Williams. Behind Williams is Mark Gardner, then Bailey Heinrich, as our race leader comes into the main straight with 8 down and 4 laps to go. Time clock shows a 1984 that time around. Clark in 2nd place, Sandow 3rd. 4th place right behind them is the 63 of Cody Heinrich, then Ricky Throckmorton. Those 4 have got away from the next 4 as our race leader has 3 laps to go. Mark Jennings in cruise control down the main straight here at AMP in the Coopers National Street Stock title for Speedway Sedans Australia. Oh, and Mick Clark has gone up in a ball of smoke. And that is all she wrote. He's going back through the field. A mistake by the 71 of Luke Williams as well. But our race leader is the 21 of Mark Jennings. 10 down and 2 to go. Second place is Corey Sandow. Cody Heinrich is third. Throckmorton fourth. Back in fifth place, it's Mick Clark. Our race leader cruises on by, has 1 lap to go. White flag is on display. Back in second place, Sandow, Heinrich, Throckmorton, as the 71 spins in front of our leader, but put your hands together, he's negotiated that. Mark Jennings is first home. Jennings is the winner. Second place will go the way of Sandow. Blanket finish for the Miners. Heinrich, Gardner and Throckmorton. And there wasn't much separating Gardner and Throckmorton, I can tell you. Back to Bailey Heinrich.
Down to only 10 cars in this one. Away and racing. Andrew Jordan and Neville Nitschke will lead
the top turn underneath the time clock for the first time. Marty Kelly is there. Adrian Wright ran wide. And Peter Walker from Western Australia, who won a heat race earlier on tonight, is up there in 181 in fifth place. Oh, Marty Kelly has hit the fence. Bounces off, continues on. And the race continues. So Marty Kelly, you can see the damage to the front left-hand side of the car, but he soldiers on. It's Neville Nitschke out in front, Andrew Jordan in second place, Peter Walker up to third, Nathan Dunn in fourth. Adrian Wright's just been passed by another car there, 127, Jason DeGoldie. Further back in the field, it's the 25 of Jamie Crutchley. Peter Thompson, the New South Wales champion, well back in the field with Marty Kelly. 19.974 that time around by Neville Nitschke. Andrew Jordan has his hands full now with Peter Walker, who looms up on the outside in the purple 181. Kerry Weston in fourth place, then Nathan Dunn, Jason DeGoldie, Peter Thompson, then back to Adrian Wright. DeGoldie runs very wide up there in turn number 2 as the leader is slowly but surely coming back to them, and Peter Walker has hit the fence very heavily as well, right where Marty Kelly did, and Walker I don't think will be able to continue. Broken something on the left hand side of the car, smoke billowing out the front end, and Peter Walker I don't think will finish this one. So out in front, as I was saying, he was catching the leader. Neville Nitschke all of a sudden has a handy lead. Second place, Jordan, Weston, DeGoldie, Dunn, and Peter Walker's night is run and done, and he's on the infield. The battle now is for second place. Andrew Jordan and Kerry Weston. Weston gets under Jordan. Behind the pair of them is Jason DeGoldie in 127. Nathan Dunn is fifth. Then Peter Thompson, Adrian Wright is next. Then Marty Kelly. And at the tail is 25, Jamie Crutchley. The battle continues for second, third and fourth place. Neville Nitschke well clear. Weston. On the outside of Andrew Jordan is Jason DeGoldie. DeGoldie gets into third place. 4.5 laps left to go for our race leader, Neville Nitschke. Second place, it's Kerry Weston, then Andrew Jordan. And on his outside, Jason DeGoldie. DeGoldie back to third, Jordan back to fourth. This is heat 23 of the Coopers National Street Stock title. Race leader is Neville Nitschke. Moves out at 3 and 4 and into the main straight. Another lap ticks by. Our race leader, Neville Nitschke, leads Kerry Weston, Jason DeGoldie right there with him. Andrew Jordan has tailed off a long way back then to Nathan Dunn and Peter Thompson. So they come into the main straight with 2 laps remaining. The time around's at 20.45. Weston and DeGoldie run second and third. This is heat number 23, and DeGoldie has come from the back mark. Into the main straight, white flag is out, 1 lap to go. Weston and DeGoldie run second and third. Back then to Andrew Jordan. Fifth place is the 43 car. of Nathan Dunn. Then Peter Thompson rounds out the half dozen. And come on, race fans, put your hands together for one of the locals who's going to be first home. Neville Nitschke, and car number 58 is going to defeat Kerry Weston by a couple of car lengths. Back in third place, Jason DeGoldie, then Andrew Jordan. Nathan Dunn will be fifth. Back then to Peter Thompson, Adrian Wright and Marty Kelly. 4 minutes 3.32 was the time for the 12 laps. Winning margin was 0.560, and the quick lap at 19.596 by Jason DeGoldie. But it's Neville Nitschke first, Kerry Weston. So your star-studded lineup here. Jack Barnwell, a heat race winner earlier on tonight at Morris Ahern on the outside. They go down into turn number one. Also there is Jacob Mills, who gets a great run through and passes both of them. Ahern back to second place. Jack Barnwell goes to third, has some troubles, I think, Jack Barnwell, and has hit the fence 1, 2, 3 times. And well, that's chocolates aboard lollies for the West Australian, who won his last heat race. Can't even get off the fence at the moment. Race continues for the moment. Yellow lights come on, and he's going to slowly roll to the infield now. So 11 laps remaining. So get back underway. And out in front, it's Jacob Mills just ahead of Morris Ahern. Back in third place, Andy Maxwell Jr. as they move underneath the time clock the first time of this restart. Heat 24 of the National Street Stock title for Coopers and Speedway Sedans Australia. It is Jacob Mills, Australia 2 in production sedans, out in front. Morris Ahern in second place. Third place is Andy Maxwell Jr. and in fourth position is Jared Mabbott. One car in a lot of trouble further back in the field. I think that might be John Stowart. He's tailed right off after nearly hitting the inside retaining wall. But it's Jacob Mills who leads. Morris Ahern in second place. Andy Maxwell Jr., then Jared Mabbott, Casey Staker and Matt Hammond is there. Hammond's passed Staker now and moved into fifth. Also going well is Corey Greening and Daniel Amajuri. They're back in seventh and eighth, having a good battle side by side. In fact, it's the 75 car of Travis Hutchison. Amajuri bounces off the concrete wall here in the main straight, and Corey Greening goes underneath. But our race leader moves out at turn number 4. 5 down and 7 to go. Jacob Mills, a 19.058 on that occasion. And he's running on rails. Back to Morris Ahern in second place. Andy Maxwell Jr. in third. Jared Mabbott, then Casey Staker, Matt Hammond, Travis Hutchinson next, and John Stowart for the second time nearly hitting the inside retaining wall, this time here in the main straight. Halfway home, a 19.6 that time around by Jacob Mills. Morris Ahern, Maxwell Jr., Mabbott, Staker, Hammond, Hutchison, Amajuri in that group as well, and Darren Brumfield. Here's our race leader. 7 down and 5 to go for Jacob Mills, who does a 19.095 on this occasion. Second place, and losing ground to our race leader is Morris Ahern. Back to Andy Maxwell Jr., Jared Mabbott, Casey Staker and Matt Hammond. 8 down and 4 to go. Mills just buttoning off the pace a wee bit in the 111 car. Second slower, in fact, on lap number 9, on lap number 8 than he was on lap 7. As he comes up now behind John Stowart with 3 laps remaining. He's out by 2.5 seconds on Morris Ahern. Back to 1:32 of Andy Maxwell Jr. Then Mabbott in fourth. Staker, Hutchison, Hammond and Amajuri very close together for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Then Darren Brumfield, Corey Greening and John Stowart, as we now have 2 laps to go as the passing flag is out at the minute. 1 3/4 laps to go for Jacob Mills, who's running on rails. Morris Ahern and Andy Maxwell Jr. run second and third respectively. Back then to Jared Mabbott, Travis Hutchison and Casey Staker. That's the first half dozen. White flag is out. We're homeward bound in Heat 24 of the Coopers National Street Stock title here at AMP. And he's getting further and further and further in front. And Jacob Mills will come across the line to win another heat race of the national title. Put your hands together for him from New South Wales. 111, Jacob Mills, first home. Second place will go to car 54, Morris Ahern. 132, Andy Maxwell Jr. is third. Jared Mabbott is fourth. Travis Hutchison, Casey Staker, Matt Hammond, Daniel Amajuri and Darren Brumfield, followed by Corey Greening and John Stoward. The last lap was a 19.76. Righto, here we go with the next. We're up to heat number 25. It's all go. And Peter Dowie leads them down the main straight the first time. Chris Stewart's there along with Trey Valentine and also Josephine Thompson. Megan Forrest is coming through. One car has gone around in front of the couple. That could have been, not even going to try and guess who that is over there at this stage. But the car is mobile and the green lights remain on as they move down the main straight. Chris Stewart and Trey Valentine have a hip and shoulder here in the main straight. And the Australian champion gets through into third place. Forrest is there in fourth. And back then to Josephine Thompson and Brooke Ferguson as they head down the back straight. It's Peter Dowie who leads this one through at the moment from Western Australia. Right behind him in the second place is the 29er Chris Stewart and the national champion trying to find a way past. Megan Forrest is there as well. Back to Trey Valentine, Josephine Thompson, Brooke Ferguson, Keenan Richards, then James Jamieson, Matthew Atkinson, Donna Vanzetti and Rodney Berry. They move out of 3 and 4. Peter Dowie's been passed by Chris Stewart. Dowie trying to get off, not trying to get off the curb. Or Brooke Ferguson spun down there in turn number 4 and the yellow lights have come on. Well, it was helter-skelter at the front end of the field, no doubt about that. And we'll have ourselves a stoppage with Brooke Ferguson around down there in front of the George Tatnall stand. This is heat 25 of 30 tonight. All about set to go. Wayne Racing down the main straight, and it's been inconvenienced half a dozen cars here. Keenan Richards' car failed to go, but the green lights have remained on. So half the field are half a lap behind almost as they come out of 3 and 4. Stewart, Heinrich, third place Peter Dowie, Trey Valentine, Forrest and Josephine Thompson. Matt Atkinson leads the chasing group. He was part of the group of cars that were hopelessly inconvenienced. Oh, we've got trouble further back. This might bring on the yellows. No, it doesn't. The greens remain on as Reese Heinrich has taken up the lead. Now we've got yellows on because Trey Valentine has hit the fence. About set to go. Back underway. And here comes Reese Heinrich. Looms up on the outside and drives straight past Chris Stewart as they head down the back straight. Back in third place Peter Dowie, then Megan Forrest in fourth. Then in fifth place is Josephine Thompson as they move down the main straight. Back then to Matt Atkinson and Brooke Ferguson. So head down the back straight, and our race leader is Reese Heinrich. Chris Stewart in second place. Third place is Peter Dowie, then Megan Forrest. Matt Atkinson has driven nicely to get up into fifth place now. From position number 9 as they head down the back straight. Reese Heinrich out in front. Second place is Chris Stewart. Peter Dowie. 114 and Megan Forrest in fourth place. Matt Atkinson, Josephine Thompson, then Brooke Ferguson. But the further this one goes, the further the national champion gets in front. Megan Forrest makes a slight mistake and Matt Atkinson from Tasmania moves into fourth place. 5 laps to go here at AMP in heat 25. Heinrich, Stewart, Dowie, Atkinson, Forrest, then Josephine Thompson. But out in front, Reese Heinrich will have 4 laps to go in heat number 25 of the national title. Back in second is Chris Stewart, then Peter Dowie, Matt Atkinson. 114 Megan Forrest, Josephine Thompson, Ferguson, Donna Vanzetti there in 8th place. Then James Jamieson and Rodney Berry. Out of turn 4, our race leader comes yet again. Reese Heinrich, the national champion. 19.73 that time around. It's event number 26 in your race program. It's heat 25 of the national title. Stewart and Dowie run second and third. Our leader comes into the main straight with 2 to go. Reese Heinrich. Stewart in second place. Dowie third. Atkinson, Forrest and Thompson. Thompson under pressure now from Brooke Ferguson as our race leader is 3 wide on the outside of 2 cars he's about to lap. White flag is on display. Second place, Stewart, then Dowie. 135, Matt Atkinson, then Megan Forrest. And the top half dozen, Josephine Thompson. Put your hands together for him though, ladies and gentlemen. The Australian champion wins again. Reese Heinrich first across the line. Great set of laps, gets the double checkered flag. Second home is Chris Stewart, Peter Dowie, Matt Atkinson, and then Megan Forrest. That's the first 5. Back in 6th place is Brooke Ferguson, Josephine Thompson and Donna Vanzetti. Rounds out the field along with James Jamieson and Rodney Berry. Berry 9th and Jamieson 10th. All about set to go. Heat 26 is underway. Good even dispatch. Lenny Bates makes a move and so too does a car on the outside. Michael Hammond. Hammond goes into second place behind Matthew Maynard. Lenny Bates is up there in third, but there's going to be some traffic coming from further back in the field, no doubt about that. So Matthew Maynard leads from Michael Hammond, Lenny Bates. Back in 4th place, the 2 car of Anthony Buchanan. Back there in 5th is Felicity Roycroft, and Paul Briggs has stopped right here in the front straight. Yellow lights have come on. I'm not sure what has happened there, and we have ourselves a restart underway. Matthew Maynard leads Michael Hammond down the main straight. Back then to Lenny Bates in 3rd position as they head out of turn number 2 and down the back straight. Buchanan in 4th. Roycroft, Harris is on the outside. There's a race in 3 at the moment. Matthew Maynard, Hammond, Bates. There's trouble further back. Grant Harris has gone back through the field. Looks like he might have a flat tyre, has he? No, he's still going. So head down the back straight. Matthew Maynard having some issues with the 78 car of Michael Hammond, and Lenny Bates not far behind. Buchanan is next, then the 32 car of Giacometti, Felicity Roycroft, and then the 141 of Darren Forrest. That's the lead group at this point in time. So head down the main straight. Maynard gets crossed up, and Michael Hammond from Western Australia, you'll think, will go around the outside, but he doesn't, because he's got his hands full with Lenny Bates. Maynard crossed up again, 3 wide now for the lead. Oh, this could end in tears for someone, but Matthew Maynard fights back on the inside and holds off Lenny Bates, who's gone around the inside of Michael Hammond, who went on the outside of Matthew Maynard. And Michael Hammond's got a flat tyre, and Michael Hammond's going to be out of the race. A flat back, left tyre for Michael Hammond, and Matthew Maynard continues to lead this one. So move down the main straight. It's Maynard by a car length over Lenny Bates. He's going to have to go to the outside because Matthew Maynard won't get off the curb. Back in 3rd place now is Darren Giacometti. Well, just as I say, he won't get off the curb, he does. And Lenny Bates goes straight past. So Bates in front. Maynard fights back on the inside. Maynard and Bates. Bates and Maynard, and Bates goes around and takes the lead. Back in 3rd place, it's Darren Giacometti. 4th place, it's Darren Forrest. Back then to the 65 car, which is next. Roycroft and Whitehead. And then Anthony Buchanan. Further back after that, it would be Brendan Green, Grant Harris, David Misson. And Paul Briggs has been shown as a lap down at this point in time. But he's about 6th on the racetrack, which is headed up at the moment by Lenny Bates. Matthew Maynard, Giacometti and Forrest are the first 4. They go up underneath the time clock as Michael Hammond retires. Our race leader is Lenny Bates from Matthew Maynard. Darren Giacometti. Darren Forrest is next. 5th is the 23 car of Ben Whitehead. Felicity Roycroft, then Paul Briggs. Further back after that is Brendan Green. Our race leader, though, comes into the main straight to complete another lap. 2 laps to go for Lenny Bates. The 32 of Darren Giacometti and then Matthew Maynard. Darren Forrest, Ben Whitehead, Felicity Roycroft. Paul Briggs goes underneath of Roycroft. As our race leader comes up to get the white flag, there'll be one lap to go. Bates out in front. Giacometti second. Maynard back to Forrest. Whitehead. That's the first five. They head down to turn 4 for the final time. Put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. Australia number 2 at the moment, Lenny Bates from Victoria is first across the line, gets the double checkered flag. Second home is Darren Giacometti, then Matthew Maynard, Darren Forrest, Ben Whitehead. Paul Briggs is 6th across the line, but is showing as a lap down. Back then to Felicity Roycroft, Brendan Green, Grant Harris, Anthony Buchanan, David Misson. And that's the way they finished. 3:42.02 for the last 11 laps. 1.222 was the winning margin, and the quick lap at 19.122 by Matthew Maynard.
Buchanan, Chris Hay in the V142, and yes, City.
Thank you very much as we get ourselves underway. Look at that, 3 wide in 2 rows of 3 further back in the field behind the lead 4 cars, which is Dale Blomley, the leader. Anthony Bear on the outside of him as they come under the time clock for the first time. Heat 26 in the national title as Anthony Bear in front from Blomley. Also there is 61 of Matt Nelson and Chris Watmore. That's the first 4 cars. So head down the back straight and Blomley fights back. Dale Blomley on the inside of Anthony Bear as they come under the time clock for the second time. And it's Anthony Bear just in front from Dale Blomley in the 68. Back in 3rd place, Matt Nelson, Chris Watmore. The 7 car moves up into 5th place. That's Craig Buchanan with a 19.9 second lap. That's the quickest anyone's gone in this race so far. As they move out of 3 and 4, Anthony Bear just in front in the 46. 2nd place, Dale Blomley, Matt Nelson. On the outside is the 8 of Craig Watson, then Buchanan, then back to Watmore in 5th. Eugene Bennett in 6th position. Further back in the field looks like Andrew Burgoyne and David Barry, Chris Hay and Jared Wilkinson rounds out the field. Well, Anthony Bear skipped away a little bit here in heat number 26. Make that 27. He's out by a few car lengths. Matt Nelson in 2nd place. 3rd place now is Craig Buchanan. Dale Blomley has gone back to 5th after a bit of an excursion over there in turn 2. And Anthony Bear's lead was 1.1 seconds, but Matt Nelson starting to mow him down. It's 0.4 of a second now, 19.7 the last time around. Anthony Bear just in front. Matt Nelson is doing a great job. So they come out of 3 and 4. It's Bear, Nelson and Buchanan, the first 3 here. Back then to Watmore and Blomley. Blomley coming back under Watmore. This is for 4th and 5th. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, our lead 3 cars. Anthony Bear, the 61 car. Right behind him is Matt Nelson. And 2 car lengths further adrift is Craig Buchanan with 5 to go. Anthony Bear, Nelson and Buchanan down into turn 1, and Nelson goes past Anthony Bear. You don't see that very often. Down the back straight they go. There's a lap car coming up, which is Jared Wilkinson. Well, Bear's back in front because the 61's gone up in smoke. So Nelson's gone up in smoke. He's in 2nd for the moment, but not anymore. Buchanan back into 2nd. So luck's a fortune for Anthony Bear, who lost the lead. But Nelson's the one that's going to go from chocolates to board lollies in this one. And they're going to be the really yucky yellow ones too, I think, because he's going to probably not finish at all. Anthony Bear has got 3 to go. The power steering hose, we think, has gone on Matt Nelson's car. He's still driving around ahead of Watmore, but he's not going to last the distance in any major capacity as Anthony Bear comes up with 2 to go now. He's out by 1.9 seconds. Craig Buchanan giving great chase. It's back to 1.4. Back then in 3rd place would be the 42 of Chris Watmore. Then Matt Nelson still holding off Dale Blomley for the moment. White flag coming out. There is 1 lap to go. Oh, Anthony Bear hit a bit of a rut there and bounced up on 2 wheels. Bear has one to run. The white flag is out. Oh, hello. Second and third place, or second place, had a bit of a mix-up with Chris Hay, who was minding his own business at the back of the field, and the yellow lights have come on. And we've got a stoppage. My vision was obscured there as to who was at fault, but 142 Chris Hay was back there in 9th place. Back underway with 2 laps to go. Men 28. Heat 27 of the national title down into turn number 1. Anthony Bear has a minuscule lead at the moment as Matt Nelson does the nice thing, moves out of the way. Clearly he has some issues with that car. And Craig Buchanan is a big chance here in the lucky last. White flag is out, 1 to go. And here he goes, diving to the inside of Anthony Bear. Buchanan and Bear to fight this one out. Out of turn 2 they go. Watmore is in 3rd place, then Blomley. Bear got a bit of a scare and has taken off as Buchanan's got one last chance on the outside. Can he make it stick? Bear makes the car wide and hangs on and wins. Bear first, Buchanan second, Watmore. Andrew Burgoyne got up for 4th, Blomley 5th. 6th place is David Barry, Eugene Bennett, Chris Hay and Jared Wilkinson. .333 was the winning margin. It's Anthony
Scott Seacombe, Ben Riley and Jamie Stewart in the S97 rounding out the field for this one.
Thanks, Kai, as we get ourselves underway. And they're 3 wide down into turn 1, make it 4 as they head out of turn number 2. Jaden Edwards will be a leader, and right on the extreme outside was Brad McClure as they go down the back straight. And Darren Flatman's in that lead group as well, along with Jason Jewell. Flatman's gone sideways in front of the field and spun himself out of the race. As the race continues, out in front, it's car number 87, Jaden Edwards, back into McClure. The yellows will be on now because right in front of us we've got 118 Scott Seacombe facing the wrong way, and Darren Flatman hadn't moved either, so we'll do it all over again. Front row with Melissa Crutchley, the green lights come on, and the traffic jam begins. And on the outside, Brad McClure. He's on the outside of Jace Kempton. Also in there is Dale Riley Jr. and Jason Jewell. And those 4 are out after Jaden Edwards, who leads this one through. Down into turn number 1, underneath the time clock. They're going pretty quickly indeed. It's Jaden Edwards just in front. 2nd place is Jace Kempton from WA. 3 times national champion Brad McClure 3rd. Back then in 4th place, it's the 128 car of the 28 car of Dale Riley Jr. and then Jason Jewell in 5th. Darren Flatman there in 6th place, but he leads the 2nd group of cars. Out of turn 4 they come, 2 down and 10 to go. It's Jaden Edwards from Jace Kempton, from Brad McClure. Then back to Dale Riley Jr. and also Jason Jewell. McClure runs wide and that's allowed Dale Riley Jr. back into the equation. And he's still running wide while Dale Riley Jr. from Tasmania is down low on the track. Jason Jewell in 5th place. Well, it's a 19.159 by our race leader, so the times are still very quick indeed. And Jaden Edwards from South Australia leads this one through. Out of 3 and 4 he comes. This is heat number 28 of the National Street Stock title for Speedway Sedans Australia and Coopers. Down into turn 1, it's Jaden Edwards. Jace Kempton from Western Australia, Brad McClure from Victoria, the Tasmanian Dale Riley Jr. in 4th. Jason Jewell's dropped off the pace. Back in 6th place, Scott Spitzpath from the Simon Spitzpath from the Northern Territory. Then Scott Merritt and Ben Riley. That's the next one through after that. Down into turn number 1. They come up to lap Melissa Crutchley. Jason Jewell's got a flat tyre back there in 5th place. Around the outside of Crutchley goes our race leader, Jaden Edwards. He'll come up under the time clock and it'll tick over from 7 to 6. 6 laps to go in heat number 28. Kempton and McClure run 2nd and 3rd. Dale Riley Jr. 4th, then back to Jason Jewell. 6th place is the 41 car of Scott Merritt, then Simon Spitzpath. Ben Riley, Scott Seacombe is next. The 97 of Jamie Stewart and Darren Flatman rounds out the main body of the field. And a lap or so down is Melissa Crutchley. Down the main straight is the 87, and that's Jaden Edwards. Puts another lap together, 5 remain. Brad McClure comes underneath of Jace Kempton, having a ding-dong battle for 2nd and 3rd place. Door handle to door handle down the back straight. Kempton goes back to 3rd. now dives to the inside of McClure as they make their way into the main straight, but McClure is clear and goes into second. Edwards leads. Scotty Merritt goes underneath of Jason Jewell. Jaden Edwards comes underneath the time clock. There'll be 3 laps to go this time around. Still Kempton chasing McClure. There's a couple of lap cars for them to negotiate around Melissa Crutchley. And underneath of Darren Flatman goes our race leader. Heat number 28 of the national title has 1 and a bit laps left to run. 2 and a bit laps left to run. Edwards, McClure starting to close at a rate of knots. Kempton in 3rd place, then Dale Riley Jr. A couple of car lengths in it as they head down the back straight. Brad McClure could sniff a victory here. Under the time clock, they come for the second last time. Jaden Edwards in front, greets the white flag first. It's Jaden Edwards from Brad McClure. The margin 0.4 of a second. Down past the George Tatnall stand, there's a car length in it. Back to Jace Kempton. Dale Riley Jr. in 4th place. McClure dives to the inside. Here at Jaden Edwards. Edwards and McClure side by side. McClure, Edwards. Edwards will win. Edwards by a car length. Jaden Edwards takes the win from Brad McClure, Jace Kempton and Dale Riley Jr. Back then to Scotty Merritt. Simon Spitzbath is next, then Jason Jewell. Ahead of Ben Riley, then Scott Seacombe, Jamie Stewart and Darren Flatman and Melissa Crutchley. 3 minutes 59.44 for the 12 laps. 12 for this penultimate heat of the night, heat number 29. It's all go. And a good start for Brumfield. Cody Avens there too. On the outside, back into Daryl Atkinson. The C's sort of opened up there for Mick Dan, who gets underneath of Cody Avens and moves into 3rd place. So head up into the top turn for the first time of 12 circulations in this 29th heat of 30 tonight. Down the main straight is Brumfield, being passed now by Atkinson. On the outside is Mick Dan. Mick Dan gets a great run on the outside this time of Brumfield. Looked in between Brumfield and Atkinson, couldn't quite do it on this occasion. Back there in 4th is Cody Avens, and coming under him is Peter Herbert from WA. So we've got a good 5-way go at the moment. Out in front it's Atkinson, Brumfield, then back to Mick Dan, Avens and Herbert. 6th place at this stage, Jaden Dredge, then Wayne Phosphorus in the 96. After that, we've got Nathan Barbara from Queensland, Craig Clayton from Newman in Western Australia, Sean Henry, Colin Peden and James Dennis from the Northern Territory. That's the full order of the field after 3 circulations. Daryl Atkinson out in front just from Brumfield in car number 15. Mick Dan and then Peter Herbert, who's just done the quick lap of the race, and Brumfield's back in front. So Brumfield takes up the running. Back to Atkinson in 2nd place. Dan down low on the track, then Peter Herbert and Cody Avens. So Atkinson comes back now at Sam Brumfield down into turn 1. Atkinson and Brumfield and Mick down there bouncing up and down like pinballs down there now. But it's Atkinson back in front. Brumfield in 2nd place. Back then to Mick Dan and Peter Herbert. Back to Cody Avens, Jaden Dredge, Wayne Phosphorus. Under the time clock they come, 5 down and 7 to go. And Atkinson leads Brumfield. Mick Dan back then to the 49 of Peter Herbert. Cody Avens is next. 6 is Jaden Dredge, then Nathan Barbara, Wayne Phosphorus. Sean Henry is further back with Craig Clayton, Colin Peden and James Dennis. Halfway home in the penultimate heat of the night. Heat 29 of 30 heats of the national title. And out in front, it's Daryl Atkinson. 2nd place, Sam Brumfield. Mick Dan, Peter Herbert right on Dan's back bumper. Back then in 5th place, it's Jaden Dredge, then Cody Avens. Sean Henry is next. So move down the main straight. Underneath James Dennis from the Northern Territory. And out in front, Daryl Atkinson opens up a bit of a gap on Sam Brumfield. Back in 3rd place, it's Mick Dan. And in 4th place, it's Peter Herbert. Herbert comes under Dan now. This is for 3rd. So go down into turn 1 and Herbert gets under Dan and takes 3rd. And oh, we've got a fire. The red lights have come on. Nathan Barbara's car is on fire down there in turn number 1. And the fire crew will hopefully get to it soon because The fire has gone out, has it? According to the camera crew, they're right on the scene. But yes, Nathan Barbara's car went up in smoke here in the main straight, has come to a stop down in turn number 1. It's all good fun. Glad you're all here. We'll try again tomorrow night. Surely not. Here we go. We're back underway. Atkinson still in front with 4 to run. Brumfield and Atkinson have swapped the lead several times over in this race. Back to Mick Dan in third as they head down the back straight in the second last heat of the night on Speedway Sedans Live, courtesy of Speedway Sedans Australia. Here at AMP, we've got 3 to go. Atkinson, Brumfield, Peter Herbert drives into third place. Back to Mick Dan in fourth. Back to Jaden Dredge as they move out of turn number 2. Back in 6th place, Cody Avens, then Sean Henry. Down the back straight they go underneath the time clock. There'll be 2 laps to go. Brumfield trying to tack onto the back end of our race leader in Atkinson. Daryl Atkinson in the 37 leads them down. Back in 2nd place, Brumfield. 3rd place is that of Peter Herbert, then Mick Dan, Jaden Dredge, and then Cody Avens. Brumfield right there with Daryl Atkinson. Down into turn number 3 and 4. The white flag comes out for the second last time tonight. It's Daryl Atkinson who leads. Brumfield, Herbert, Dan, Dredge and Avens. That's the first 6. Down into turn 1 and 2. And it looks as though he's done enough. Out in front, it's Daryl Atkinson from Victoria. Moves out of 3 and 4 and will be first to the double checkered flags. First across the line, Daryl Atkinson. Peter Herbert on the inside gets up for second. Peter Herbert second. 3rd place is Sam Brumfield. Mick Dan, Jaden Dredge, then Sean Henry. Cody Avens in close proximity along with Craig Clayton. Wayne Foster as Colin Peaton and James Dennis. The winning margin was 1.5 seconds. The quick lap of the race was by Daryl Atkinson at 19.505.
Nigel Rothstein, Bob Wakefield, Eric Donaldson, Damon Thompson and Robert Smith as they head into turn 1.
Well done, Coy, you nearly got there. As they move out of turn number 2, the yellow lights have come on.
The lucky last.
Well, it's been a very long night, but some entertaining racing, no doubt about that. The green lights have come on, and leading them up the main straight in the lucky last is Shane Roycroft. 2nd place is Kate Cox, and back there to Lee Gooding. Wayne Shearman is next, and Nigel Reichstein as they head down the back straight. They're 3 wide further back after that. Down into turn 3 and 4 for the first time, and our race leader is car number 82 who leads them through Shane Roycroft. Back to Kate Cox and Lee Gooding, Nigel Reichstein and Wayne Shearman. Back in 6th place after that is Jaden Blobley, Damon Thompson in 7th place as we've got a lead change. Well, maybe a lead change. Roycroft is high, wide and handsome. On the inside is Kate Cox as they level up down the main straight. Back to Lee Gooding and Nigel Reichstein. Down underneath the time clock. They're still side by side in the lucky last. It's Roycroft, the leader from Kate Cox, who made a bit of a mistake there and lost some ground. Back to Lee Gooding, Nigel Reichstein and Wayne Shearman. 6th place is Jaden Blobley, Damon Thompson trying to make it a row of 3. That's for 5th, 6th and 7th. And behind them, it's the 3 of Eric Donaldson, Matthew Siddell and then Robert Smith. Down the back straight they go yet again. Out in front, the 82 of Shane Roycroft has been caught again by Kate Cox as they come out of 3 and 4 into the main straight. 4 down and 8 laps to go in the lucky last. Back in 3rd place, 1-1-2, Lee Gooding and then Nigel Reichstein as Kate Cox dives underneath of Shane Roycroft yet again, and also Reichstein dives underneath of Lee Gooding at the same time. They move out of the George Tatnall stand and into the main straight. Cox on the inside, on the outside it's the 82 car of Shane Roycroft. Maybe we've got the best race at the last. Oh, we've lost a wheel. We've got the yellow lights on. The wheel is bouncing down the main straight. The red lights have come on, and it belongs to 101 of Damon Thompson. Well, Damon Thompson has no luck at national titles with flat tyres or tyres that fall off. The same thing happened. Here we go with the lucky last. Back underway yet again. Roycroft leads them down the main straight. 2nd place, Kate Cox again dives to the inside. Back there in 3rd place, Lee Gooding, and then Nigel Reichstein and Wayne Shearman as Cox dives to the inside yet again of Roycroft as they come out at 3 and 4. They're poles apart on the track, but they're side by side now as Roycroft and Cox across the line together. 0.065 of a second. Back there in third place, Nigel Reichstein's come from a long way back. As they head down the back straight, fourth place belongs to Lee Gooding, then Wayne Shearman. As they go, Roycroft has spun. Oh, how did Reichstein miss him? I don't know. But Kate Cox now has a mortgage on the race with 6 to go. So it's Cox out in front. And he spins himself out. So he spins himself out while in the lead. Nigel Reichstein's going to drive around the outside and take it. So Cox fights back on the inside. All of a sudden it's Cox and Reichstein. The last 5 laps has been Cox and Roycroft, but now Reichstein goes around the outside and takes the lead. Kate Cox fights back on the inside and takes him with him. And here comes Roycroft back into it. Down the back straight for the 7th time. Down the back straight, Kate Cox in front, Reichstein in second, and Roycroft is right there with them. Into the main straight with 4 laps to go. It's Kate Cox in front, Reichstein and Roycroft. Back then to Lee Gooding and Wayne Shearman. Underneath the time clock, 20.76 that time around. Nigel Reichstein is out after our race leader. He started out of 8. Kate Cox stops, props and loses the lead. Back in front is Reichstein. Cox back to second place. Roycroft goes into second. Cox back to third. Ever-changing fortunes in this one. Under the time clock at 21.18 that time around. Back in fourth place it's Lee Gooding, Wayne Shearman, and Cox is almost out of noise. Has got a flat tyre, has now 3 wide for third place. Going into third is Lee Gooding. Fourth place is Shearman. Fifth place will now be Robert Smith. As they head down the main straight, our race leader heads out of turn 2 and he's being chased by Shane Roycroft. But it's Nigel Reichstein who'll greet the white flag first. 1 lap to go here at AMP in the lucky last. It's Nigel Reichstein who gets the white flag. Shane Roycroft in second place. Back in third place, the 1-1-2 Lee Gooding as Roycroft closes right in on our race leader. But then Roycroft's out of noise. And Nigel Reichstein's going to win, and Roycroft is going to be besieged by second and third on the last lap. How they get underneath, I don't know, but Reichstein takes the win. Here's the battle for second, Shearman and Gooding. Gooding and Shearman, Gooding gets it. Shearman third. Back in fourth place is going to be the very unlucky Shane Roycroft. In fact, no, it won't. He has stopped completely. Fourth place is going to go to Robert Smith. Fifth place is going to crawl across the line. It's the 14 of Nigel Reichstein. No, it's going to be the 69 of Matthew Seidel. In fact, Reichstein got around a second time. Poor old Shane Roycroft is crawling and crawling and crawling. This is going to be cruel, but he's going to try and get there. 6 is going to go to Kate Cox. 7th place is going to go to the 82 if he can just putt a little bit further. He hasn't quite hit the line yet. The checker flags are still waving. Keep them going. Put your hands together for Shane Roycroft has got there. Shane Roycroft has got there in 7th place. Persistence pays off. A great race from Roycroft, but not to be in the end. It's Reichstein, Gooding and Shearman, your first 3 in the last. Here at AMP as we go down to Paris after this break.